This dish is a caramelised pumpkin and spinach tart. Let's get cracking.
All right, so the first things we're going to do, I'm gonna get stuck into the pumpkin straight away.
Lovely.
So we've got a fresh butternut pumpkin here. So what we're going to do, most people, when they enjoy their pumpkin, they oven roast it, which is absolutely fine, and you can certainly do that in this dish as well. But instead, because we also appreciate that that often takes a little bit more time. It takes, anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes to oven roast your pumpkin. We're gonna dice it into smaller pieces. We're gonna then throw it into a hot pan. And because it's gonna be smaller pieces, it'll cook on the outside and it'll also cook through. So we're gonna get that nice, charry, roasted pumpkin, as well as smaller bits that we can then use on our tart.
Beautiful. Now, I've got a couple of shallots here that we're going to caramelise with the pumpkin as well. We're using shallot. You could use red onions, spring onions, brown onion, whatever you like, as long as you cook it down and get it nice and sweet.
So we're just going to cut our pumpkin into small dice here. So making sure we've got a nice flat edge. I've cut it to roughly kind of 1 centimetre thick, and then I'm just going to then dice these pieces 1 centimetre thick as well. Really great source of beta carotene, which is important, obviously, helps with our eyesight. So squeeze a little bit of pumpkin into your diet, a great idea. Now, drizzle of olive oil into my pan. Extra virgin olive oil, first press, best flavour, most nutritious as well. And then we're gonna get our pumpkin in there in just a second.
Now, remember with this dish, because it's going to spend about 15 to 20 minutes in the oven as well, you don't have to completely cook that pumpkin through. That's why you want a nice hot pan so you can get some of that beautiful colour on the outside. While Themis has got the pumpkin cooking, I've got a few shallots I've just sliced up here, and I've got 4 cloves of garlic as well. Don't be afraid to use these kind of flavours to really bulk out your dish and make it taste absolutely amazing. I don't want to slice everything here too small, because once again, it is going to cook in the frying pan briefly, and then again in the oven.
We've also got a little bit of fresh thyme. So the key to getting flavour into these dishes quickly is using lots of fresh herbs. I'm going to add this to our pan now as well. I'm going to save a little bit for use later on, just so that we can add a bit to the tart as we add it into the oven.
Now that we're starting to get some colour on that pumpkin, we're going to go in with our shallots and with our garlic. I've got here some puff pastry. Now, it's just a good quality butter puff pastry. And all I want to do, because the tart's actually going to rise up around that beautiful pumpkin and spinach filling, I'm going to take a small knife and just score a little border just on the inside. So when I say score, I don't want to cut all the way through the pastry, just about halfway, and that'll allow the outside of the pastry to puff up and become really nice and crisp.
I'm now just going to turn the heat down to a slightly more moderate heat. The reason why I'm doing that, we've got colour on the outside of our pumpkin. We know it's going to continue to cook through once we put it into the oven for a few minutes, but I don't want to burn my garlic and I don't want to burn the shallot as well. So by just bringing the heat down, allow it to sweat a little bit more, and those flavours will infuse into the pumpkin as well, and we're going to get that beautiful caramelised onion once we add it into the oven. I've got a few little spinach leaves now too that we're going to throw into the pan, but I think we should save a few of these so we can just garnish with a few fresh leaves later on as well.
Lovely. All right, well, I'll bring this over to you.
We don't want to add any of our pumpkin mixture to the outside, because that'll weigh down the puff pastry where it's supposed to rise up. So we're just going to try and keep it on the inside of that area. Okay, so that is ready to go.
Tart goes into the oven.
Then we've got a remaining spinach leaves here as well. All we're going to do is give them a little drizzle of lemon juice, just a touch, a little drizzle of olive oil as well. And then that'll be ready for us to garnish on top of our caramelised pumpkin and spinach tart once it comes out of the oven. It smells amazing, and it is beautiful and golden as well. Now, you can actually see what we mean when we said score around the outside and let the puff pastry raise up on the outside. That's happened absolutely beautifully. Now, obviously it's a very hot pan, so be careful when you're taking it out.
Oh, how good is that?
Looks excellent.
And what I love, by doing it in the pan to start with, the pumpkin is beautiful and golden brown, and that spinach still looks fresh. But we are going to top it with a few extra leaves as well.
A little bit of feta cheese to top too. This adds a nice little colour contrast, but also a nice fresh acidity too.
There you have it, caramelised pumpkin and spinach tart. Crisp, sweet, savoury and delicious. Give it a shot.